The small roadside diner in rural Pennsylvania was almost empty. Outside, cold wind pushed fallen leaves across the parking lot. A line of motorcycles stood near the entrance, engines ticking as they cooled down. Inside, Old Man sat alone at a table set for two. His name was Harold Bennett, 84 years old, retired railroad worker, widower, father to one son he hadn't seen in 12 years. In front of him sat a chocolate cake with one single candle. The flame flickered every time the door opened. Harold kept looking up. Every time the bell rang above the door, hope rose in his tired eyes, then slowly faded. Across the diner, a tall biker noticed him. Heavy boots, leather vest, tattoos down both arms. His name was Ryan. People usually crossed the street to avoid him. But Ryan couldn't ignore the way the old man kept checking the door. After a few minutes, Ryan walked over. Sir, you waiting on someone?" Harold looked up, startled. His eyes were pale blue and watery. Today's my birthday," he said softly. "My boy used to come every year. Even after he moved to Chicago, but after his mother passed, things changed." He swallowed. "We argued at the funeral. Haven't spoken since." Ryan felt a quiet ache in his chest. Harold's fingers trembled as he straightened the extra plate. "I know he's not coming. I just didn't want to sit at home alone." There was a long silence. Then Harold looked up again, eyes shining with unshed tears. "Oh, son, I know this sounds foolish, but just for today, would you pretend to be my boy?" The words were fragile, almost embarrassed. Ryan's jaw tightened. He hadn't heard anyone call him a son in over 15 years. His own father had thrown him out at 17. "You'll never be anything," were the last words he'd heard. Ryan slowly pulled out the chair. "Yeah," he said quietly, "I can do that." Harold's lips trembled into a small, grateful smile. Grateful smile. They lit the candle together. "A make-a-wish, Dad," Ryan said gently. Harold closed his eyes. A tear slipped down before he could stop it. He blew out the candle, hands shaking. They talked while sharing the cake. Harold told stories about teaching his son how to ride a bike, about camping trips by Lake Erie, about the day his wife first held their baby boy. Ryan listened like those memories were precious treasures. At one point, Harold reached across the table and squeezed Ryan's rough hand. "I'm sorry," he whispered suddenly. "For what?" For not knowing how to fix things when they broke. Fathers are supposed to know how." Ryan couldn't speak for a moment. After a while, it was time to leave. Ryan helped Harold into his coat and walked him outside. The sky had cleared, revealing a soft orange sunset. Before getting into his taxi, Harold turned around. He hesitated, then wrapped his thin arms around Ryan. It wasn't a quick hug. It was the kind that lingers. The kind that says everything words can't. Thank you, son," Harold whispered against his shoulder. "You gave me my birthday back." Ryan stood there long after the taxi drove away. The other bikers were already starting their engines, but Ryan stayed still. Then he pulled out his phone. He stared at one contact he had saved but never dared to call. Dad, his thumb hovered. His heart pounded. Finally, he pressed it. It rang. Once, twice, a tired voice answered. "Hello." Ryan closed his eyes. "Hey, it's me." Silence. Heavy, uncertain. Then a shaky breath on the other end. "I was thinking," Ryan said softly, fighting tears, "maybe we could get some cake sometime." Across town, another old man began to cry. Back at the diner, the empty chair across Harold's table no longer looked so lonely, because sometimes healing doesn't begin with grand gestures. Sometimes it begins with someone simply choosing to sit down.